Welcome to Her Beautiful Journey with Wicci Luxembourg. I am Jagrati, your host. As the name suggests, in this segment, I'll be speaking to inspiring women who are making difference in their lives and the lives of others. Today, I have Sapna Malhotra. As I know her, she is a communication leader at Arsenal Mittal, an athlete, a health and fitness enthusiast, and a first ever Mrs. India Worldwide 2024 Luxembourg. So I welcome Sapna.
Thank you,
Welcome, Sapna.
Jagrati.
I went through your profile a bit on LinkedIn, and I saw a very unique fact that you speak Mandarin. Would you like to tell me that where did you learn it, how did you learn it, and how it made difference in your personal and professional journey?
Right. Thank you, Jagrati. Well, I'm from India. As you said, my name is Sapna, but my studies took me to China. So I went on to do I grew up in Calcutta. I did my schooling in Loreto House and St. Xavier's College in English Honors. And then I worked for a few years in Calcutta. I moved on to Singapore to do my MBA. And that's where I started learning Chinese. And then when I moved for my professional career in China, in Shanghai and Beijing, I picked up Chinese. I think it's wonderful to learn a foreign language. Chinese was the first foreign language I learned. And what I found awesome was that you integrate so well in the culture. I mean, even now in Luxembourg, I mean, I've been out of China since 2006. It's been almost 20 years now. But even when I go to a Chinese restaurant, I always speak in Chinese. And it's fantastic when, it just lights up the lives of these people. They're, wow, speaking Chinese. So I think it's a very integral part of the culture to learn the language, even if it's a bit, the food habits and the culture of the country you live in. So I think it was a wonderful phase of my life, and I continue to do that here in Luxembourg too, with a bit of Luxembourgish that I have learned, and obviously the idea is to learn it much more. But even if you say Moyan, Adi, to people on the road, it's a wonderful feeling, to be integrated as part of the society. Is that what I feel?
I can vouch for it because I learned French and then I learned Luxembourgish a
Yes,
bit.
I know that. Yeah,
Yes, and then it just the small talks you do, and then it connects to people very simply. So I can
indeed.
vouch for it. It's a great way to know the culture, know the country, and to connect to people. As I mentioned, that you are an athlete as well, or you were. Maybe I will know more from you. What kind of sports you played, and then what do you continue doing today in terms of sport and athleticism?
Yes. So no, for me, I mean, it's always been a right balance of physical fitness, healthy eating. At some point in time, I had a huge health issues. It was about 2017. I went through bad issues. I had huge problems with my neck because, as you know, I'm a head of communication. I'm always writing on the computer, not taking a break for lunch, and my body gave way. So I went through a bad phase. I had problems with the neck, and that's when I started joining the gym. I've always been very sporty at school. I've been a hockey player, football player, but then a swimmer myself. But then when you get into your corporate life and, as your responsibilities increase, your workload increases, you tend to lose out on the balance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I started. I joined the gym in front of my office, took my, lunch break, went in for a half an hour run. So that's when I started running. I continue that. I've scaled down a bit. I try to run about 7 to 8K every day. With age, I'm almost 50 plus now, so I obviously have problem with the knees. So I am balancing it with running on the treadmill, doing Pilates, yogas, walking, and swimming. But I find it very refreshing when I go for my morning run, whether it's on the treadmill or on the or run outside. I plan my day. So I plan my meetings. These are the things which I have to say. These are things. So for me, it's that morning 1 hour, 1.5 hours of planning routine, which I don't want to give up. And I always encourage people to do that because especially women, we get so bogged down with family, with children. I think it's important to take time for yourself. Whether it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever time best for you when your kids are out. But it's important to take that 15, 20 minutes, half an hour for your personal self. And that's something I'd always follow and I continue to follow.
Mm-hmm. I saw there was a small video on YouTube for Mrs. Popular, I guess, and where you said that health and fitness is an important part of your journey and for your life as well. And
Indeed.
you specifically mentioned about mental well-being. So, what do you do for mental well-being? Do you do yogas? Do you do some kind of meditation?
I do yoga. I start the day with yoga and Pilates, but I think mental well being at the end of the day is also letting things go. I mean, that's what I've learned.
Mhm,
Obviously, with career, whether you have a career, you don't have a career, we always have our tensions, we get bogged down with things. So at the end of the day, we should just let go, and finding the right balance of mental health being is important, whether it's food, whether it's anger management. But you just need to, some people like to speak out, some people like to, go out for a cup of coffee with friends or families, or some people just like to do, like me. For me, my sort of heaven for mental health is sports.
mhm,
My run, my yoga, even if it's a rest day, like today was a rest day, Sunday, I went out with my husband for a walk. So we walk down. I'll go off now in the evening now for a nice walk, get some fresh air. So I think mental health in that sense is your own personal. You got to, each person has to find their own well-being, because obviously there's so much pressure from everywhere. We live out of India. We don't have a family, our friends.
mhm.
We sometimes get a bit, lost. So I think each one of us, find your own space, find the right balance, but take time for yourself. And that's important to realize, that is important. And that's something which I have practiced, I would say, since 2017, since I had that, that sort of major problem with my health. I said, no, nothing doing. There's no compromises when it comes to health.
Super nice. So it's been a journey. It's not that you
Indeed.
picked up since your, let's say, adulthood or from younger age and then you continue.
Indeed.
It's something which you learned over the year, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you mentioned a very specific point, anger management. Could you define how do you respond to your behaviors, respond to the situation sometime? How do you, let's say, differentiate between reacting and responding to the situation?
Well, at work, I'll tell you one principle: learn not to react. I think the most important thing is to question and listen. And you obviously have people that you deal with. You have people who are shouting at you. Sometimes you get bogged down. You need to prioritize. I think most important thing is, do not answer an email in anger. You must always go back, revisit an email. My style is always pick up the phone. If I don't understand, I said, am I missing something? I pick up the phone and ask, rather than writing an angry email which you regret later, which doesn't work at the workplace.
Mhm.
Even if you are dealing with a team member who's probably, sort of struggling with priorities, ask questions, set up a meeting, give feedback, take feedback constantly. Am I missing something? Can I help you in some way? Is there something that I could help you with, that you're struggling with your priorities? So I think the most important lesson that I have learned is never answer an email in anger. Leave it, just drop it. Reactive reaction and reactive based sort of reactions at workplace are not good. I would say the same applies at home. Yeah, obviously we you
Mhm.
have your tips with your children, with your family, with your husband, but then at some point in time, just leave it. Let's stop, relax, have a glass of wine, come back together. Can you sort it out? Can we do it differently? Can I do it differently? Can you do it differently? And then at the end of the day, always say sorry, and finish. It could be you saying sorry, the other person saying sorry. At the workplace, sort it out. I think anger management, that is where, because if you just sort of keep absorbing, either you're a very quiet person, you're an introvert, and I've often seen introverts, they just keep absorbing, they don't talk, and
Mhm.
they don't release, and then at a time they just sort of lose their mental health, they get into this fit of anger. So I think it's important to take calm, be calm, relax. If you want to speak out, but not at the moment. That's my lesson learned over life, at work and at home.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think these are some important tips which helps at personal and professional life as well. I
Indeed.
couldn't agree more. I think we had our initial conversation, and then you mentioned that you somewhere volunteered for Wiki as well. Tell me, how did you got associated with Wiki, and which part of the association, let's say, you worked on?
Well, I think Rashmi is doing a great job. I must, thank her. She has taken the initiative to start the wiki. There's never been this kind of a professional Women of Luxembourg Association. So Rashmi, hats off to her. She has, sort of initiated this. She started off with a working group initially. We were having our calls and ideas on how to edge it out. Unfortunately, I had to drop out because I had other priorities. I was not able to find the right balance. And then I told Rashmi, I think you're doing a fabulous job, but if I'm not contributing 100%, then I shouldn't be there. So we did a bit, and then she's carrying on the legacy. I think she's doing fantastic work, and you're sort of contributing to this. I think it's important to bring Rashmi herself as a professional. She's an MBA from the INSEAD, and she's sort of bringing together this initiative. She started off during the COVID period, I think, which was the right time because it was the right, the right space where people could devote time. But unfortunately, I was not able to be part of the journey, but now I am since you're interviewing me. But I think it's a fantastic organization, and any professional, women or non-professional, whatever their way they could contribute in bringing women together through this association, they should contribute. Yeah,
Yes, yes, definitely. I also met some wonderful women. I was just, as I was telling you, starting of the conversation, that there's always inspiration to draw from somewhere.
indeed.
Yeah, and of course, if it was not for Rashmi, I couldn't have got associated, and then, of course, not have met you as well. So, thanks
Yes.
to Rashmi and thanks to the association. I would like to. I saw the interview when you won your title, and there were some specific titles which were given to the participants, and then you were awarded with Mrs. Travelite. So, do you travel a lot, and do you love to travel?
Well, I started my career in aviation. I was a sales and marketing manager of one of the biggest domestic airlines, which is Modi Loft, and then I went on to work with the Mania. Uh, I've traveled a lot professionally. I mean, I moved countries. I would say I speak Hindi, I speak English, I speak a spattering of French, and I speak Chinese, so I can speak with half of the world's population. I just need to learn Spanish. So I suppose that's what won me Miss Travel Light. I do like to travel, but I have a bit of a travel with air now. I like to travel by road. But yes, I like to travel. I think it's the essence of being able to see the beauty of the world. When you travel to taste different cuisine, to meet different people, the culture, the dress, and I really get very inspired by all of that.
So, what are your like travel essential? Because I'm pretty sure you've traveled many places. And then, what are your essential which you always take when you go somewhere? And then you don't take time to think much about those essentials.
So, Jagrati, I must say, when I was traveling earlier, I was overloading myself. It's a typical thing. You take more and you wear less. Now, you need to prioritize. So if I'm traveling for 5 days, I'll probably take one or two extra. Obviously, I've learned with travel because you walk a lot. So the high heels and the stilettos don't work with me now. Getting older, I'd like my trainers or something which is more comfortable. Uh, Obviously, the travel essential is have a nice sort of SPF, a cream on your face, a bit of mascara, a bit of lipstick, and of course, you have your hat and your sunglasses always to go. I always travel with my gym clothes because if it's a nice place, I can run up the hill or take a short break, try to go to the gym almost before my breakfast. So do a bit of my Pilates. My travel mat is always in the car. My yoga mat and Pilates. If there's no gym, I probably take 15-20 minutes in the room to do that. But travel light, I think, is better for me now than traveling with a lot of things.
Well said. And you told me that you are from Kolkata. Uh,
Yes,
so, from Kolkata to Luxembourg, which place is your home? Is it still Kolkata, or Luxembourg has become the new home?
I would say Kolkata has always been my home, but I would say the new home is Luxembourg. I think it's a fabulous country. It has the right mix. It's a very cosmopolitan country. It's very accepting of people. It has a sort of it has the right balance. It's not very big that you don't need to spend too much of time traveling. I think it's got one of the best public transport, which is free. You're well connected. You can go travel by train, by tram. Very easy to navigate. So I think Luxembourg is a new home for me. I'll definitely be making this my home in the next 2 years when I'll take on the citizenship of Luxembourg. So extremely proud to be a Luxembourg, be part of Luxembourg.
So it's been 18 years for you living here,
Yes,
right? Almost 2 decades.
yes.
In your eyes, how much Luxembourg has changed since you came to the date?
Well, I think to be honest, I have always lived in countries like India, then Singapore, then China, which is far more people. So, 18 years ago when I moved to Luxembourg, and I still remember it was January, there were hardly any people on the road. And me asking my husband, is there some sort of a strike or something? Because I don't see anybody on the road. And, in Asia, we're used to seeing people walking on the road, and here it's mostly by car. But I think now it's changed. It's changed a lot. They're far more sort of, I mean, I live in Hesperange and the whole Clocheteau area, there was nothing, and now you've got all the offices. So I think it's far more bustling in terms of restaurants, in terms of people, in terms of offices, and it's changed for the good, I think, which some people find it overwhelming, but I find it kind of good because it has the right balance. If you want the quietness of Luxembourg, then you can go up north. You have the whole countryside to yourself, a nice sort of peaceful picnic. But if you're in the city center, then you have the right sort of commute, and it has the right balance. And it definitely has changed a lot for me.
So just like me, I'm guessing that work brought you here. Uh,
Yes,
okay. So
indeed.
in terms of working, how do you feel working in Luxembourg versus working in various countries? Because you worked in China, you worked in, as you said, Singapore, you worked in India. What difference do you feel here?
Well, I think all of the countries they have their own positives, right? You use. I mean, I started my career in India, which made me tough because working in India can be tough. Learning and studying in India is tough because you're competing with so many people. Then I moved on to Singapore, which again is a very competitive country. I graduated from the Nanyang Business School. Did pretty well for myself. I was the Dean's Honor for marketing. I topped the MBA. Again, very competitive environment. But then you learn, you sort of learn to survive. China has been very difficult. When I moved to China in 2006, not a single word of English was spoken. Even the hotel name had a Chinese name, but obviously, with being an expatriate, you were supported by the organization my company worked for, helped me to pick up Chinese, and that made it so comfortable. Uh, and it helped me to explore China because I don't think I would have been able to live and work in China if didn't pick up Chinese. So regular classes, it's work, it's difficult, but then you got to do it.
Mhm.
And then Luxembourg was a bit more easier for me because when you move to Luxembourg, I found pretty much people were able to speak English. Of course, now I picked up French just by hearing. You pick up you learn to pick up French. But I found Luxembourg more easier to work for than the other countries.
Now I would like to touch some of your pageantry journey, and I would like to
Yes,
ask the million dollar question.
indeed,
Tell
please.
me your beautiful journey about your pageantry competition, and then how did you enter? Share
Yes,
something from your perspective.
yes. So Jagrati, I think I was like actually never. I'm not into. I'm a very academic person. Never been into all of this modeling or films, and I can hardly dance. And honestly, but then I said, when you hit 50, you're on the wrong side of 50, and you've done the bit, and then I've studied looking through Instagram, and I was looking at all of these competitions that you have, and then I said, okay, now let me just explore a bit. To see what could I do, and then I found this Mrs. India Worldwide, which is organized for married women in India and abroad. And I did a bit of research, and I said, okay, this looks interesting. And what can I learn from it? I said, let's take that as a challenge. Luxembourg has never been represented by an Indian woman in one of these competitions, so I signed in for it. And I must say, it was an interesting journey. It was a 1 year journey. We started off with there were grooming lessons, so that you get selected. So many online sort of interview, and then I got selected as a finalist, and then your journey begins where you've got different assignments to do. on Instagram. So you got a week of celebrations of women, or you have family. So they're giving you give you different assignments for the Instagram. It was a learning for me. I'm not a big Instagram sort of freak a person, being not a Gen Z, and it helped me for my work. I said, let me learn something new. So how to make posts, how to write posts, how to tag people, how to do those bizarre things. I think I found that very interesting. And then so we had a period on health, we had a period on fitness. Fitness was easy for me because I anyway do, but cooking. So I think it was an interesting sort of a 1 year journey, and then it led you to the finale in Dubai, which was last year. And then you had the different rounds. So you had the evening gown, the swimwear, and so on and so forth round. And then they had the top 25 finalists. So I qualified with the top 25. And then they had the countrywide winners. So I was crowned the Miss Luxembourg for Mrs. Luxembourg for Luxembourg. It was interesting and very nice, very passionate journey. And it's something to be proud of when you're I was probably the oldest participant in the competition. So when you're competing with young people, I think it's always a challenge, but a challenge well worth it. So
Yeah. Yeah. And your crown looks really beautiful.
thank you, thank
And you
you,
look very beautiful in that.
thank you, Jagrati.
I was unaware that there's a almost year of training before you enter the
Yes,
pageantry
yes,
itself.
yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
is it sponsored by the pageantry community as well, or is it something you sponsor for yourself?
You sponsor for yourself, but they have a fixed assignment that they point you on. They give you marks on.
Mhm.
So there is a charity round. There's all these all of these assignments add up to your final sort of titles, and then the 7 days or 6 days of pageantry for the different also add up to the grand finale.
And you don't have to be at the place. You can do it online by yourself.
No, no, the file for the final week was in Dubai. You got to be there.
Okay. And do you interact with the competitors or let's say the participants before and or you get to
Yes.
know? Okay. Mm.
So we were that 1 year we were meeting every weekend. We had assignments. So they used to give us, like, for instance, there was a Varun Katyal was coming and giving you tips on nutrition. Then
Yeah.
there was somebody who's teaching you choreography, and then you had to practice, and then the weekends were spent. So it was very heavy because if you're working, you got to complete your assignments. You got to be prepared. Sometimes the sessions were 4 a.m. in the morning, and you have a 9 a.m. meeting. So do you do all of that and then you dress up and go to work? So it was a challenge, but it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. Varun Katyal is an amazing nutritionist. I actually had
Yes,
a brief interaction with him as well. There was a
right.
time that I was exploring pageantry competition as well.
Yes, you should. You should.
So, yeah, he's an amazing nutritionist. I'm pretty sure that it's been a great journey. Did you have any idol for yourself? That you idolize somebody in the pageantry world, or if ever you admired somebody that you want to, let's say, one day dream of it?
Not in the pageantry world, but then I mean, there are a lot of people who inspire me, people who live their life with honesty and values, people who never give up, are people who inspire me, people who always see the glass half full. I'm not a half glass empty person. I never say no to anything. I said there's always a way out. I mean, one person who inspires me would probably be Priyanka Chopra. I think, coming from an army background, not a typical definition of beauty, as you know, we understand. We are so obsessed with fair skin. And I think she's sort of carved herself out. She gives 100% in whatever she does, whether it's acting in the Bollywood. When she moved to Hollywood, she started her career in singing. She didn't do well. Then she moved on to, doing, serials. And I think that she sort of inspires me, and she always sort of speaks her mind out. And she comes across as a very positive person. So that's something which probably is something which I look forward to in every person. Positivity, inspirational, never giving up, and having that guts. So yes, I can do it kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes.
So probably Priyanka comes to my mind as the top one.
Thank you for sharing that. There's always this round where panelists ask some questions about when you enter the final, or let's say go through the journey. Can you tell me who were your finalists? If there were anybody you wish to meet and then you met and you were very happy, or what were the question asked?
Yes, I can tell you the question which was asked to me. So we were in Dubai and we had the Ukraine war going on, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and then of course there was a lot of unrest in the Middle East. And the question I was asked was by a former Mrs. World, and the question she asked me was that if you were given an opportunity to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi, uh, mm, uh, mm, Dalai Lama, and who's that actor? I forget. Rishi Kapoor's son. What is his name? Ranbir Kapoor.
Ranbir Kapoor, yes.
Ranbir Kapoor, right? So
Mm.
Ranbir Kapoor, Dalai Lama, and Mr. Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister. Who would you like to meet and why? I don't know if you can guess my answer.
I think you must have said Dalai Lama because you are somebody very health and fitness enthusiast, and I think you
Yes,
would
I
relate
did
to
say
that.
that. Yes, Jagrati. So I did say Dalai Lama, and for the reason being, I mean, in the period when all of this war is going on, as a messenger of peace, if he can just spread peace, that's all we need in this world, really. So, and that was a question which brought me to, to the finalist.
Very nice to learn. And for example, as you said that I must explore. For example, let's say I go and exploring such competition. What should I know, and how can I prepare for that competition, or how can somebody can prepare for these kind of competitions?
Well, I think you need to each one to your own. First of all, start with the mindset: I'm a winner. That's the starting point, and never in a moment doubt yourself. Then I would say do a SWOT on yourself. I did a SWOT on myself. What's your strength? What are the opportunities? What are the weaknesses? And what are the threats? The weaknesses and the threats obviously are something that you need to work on. If you think you need to improve your health, you need to get fit, work on it. If you think you need to, work on your skincare and your beauty regime, work on it. If you think you want to work on your mental health, your costume, if you think your dress sense is not so good, so give it a period to work on yourself, and just go for it. Be honest, be genuine. I think if you're going to be fake, it doesn't get you anywhere. Uh, a fake in the sense that fake in the sense that you're trying to be or do something which is not which you don't genuinely believe in. So that would definitely not help you in a pageant. Uh, Prepare for it. It is hard work. I mean, and don't get cocky. Don't be, say, oh, that's nothing. I'm the most beautiful person on this world. I'll win it. No, it's not. The sense of the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. There are lots of things which contribute. It's not just a beauty pageant. It's a beauty with brains, a beauty with fitness. You're marked on a number of things that get you the ultimate crown. So I think everybody has a chance, and those of our women from Luxembourg aspiring to be, take a chance, go for it, but be prepared to work hard. Yeah.
Think at this point of time, you take something new and then you work toward it. I think it's already amazing. So I think you are a beauty with purpose. Could you tell me what has been your health and fitness regime during this time? Did you follow something specific, or it was just your normal day-to-day
No, for
routine?
me it was normal, Jagrati, because I it's part of my routine anyway, right? So I didn't. In fact, now in hindsight, I think I should have done a bit more. But no, I couldn't because I eat healthy. Uh, um, I work out every day. I do my yoga and Pilates every day. So for my health, it was always the same. Uh, I continue to eat healthy now. It's a part of my life. And so just as I get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, I have to do my 15-20 minutes of yoga, Pilates, whatever cardio, whether it's a swim, whether it's a run, whether it's a cycle, or whatever a sort of a cardio, 15-20 minutes cardio starts the day. And I feel very happy with it. And I don't think I did anything different.
Is there anything specific in your diet, let's say, which somebody should include if they want to be fit and healthy and feel better?
I'm not a junk food person. So you'll never ever catch me eating a burger or fries. I I don't eat red meat for health reasons. I stick to a good vegetarian diet, throw in a bit of fish, which I think is good for my hair and skin because as you get older, you lose a lot of that. At one point in time, I had lost a lot of weight, not intentionally, but I was working out too much and I was actually looking sick and I have people coming to me in the office and saying, Sapna, you're much better now. So that's when you realize you don't want to look too weak. You need to have your muscles because as you age, if you do too much of cardio, then you start losing muscles. So that's when I threw in the weight training. So I go to the gym, do a bit of weight training, and that I feel makes me help. It helps me with my fitness because if you do not have muscles as you get older, you start looking sick. So I think for me, the diet is a muscle healthy diet, a balanced diet, uh, and I don't, except for junk food, I pretty much eat it.
So this is somewhere I should pick something because my mom, she's mostly complaining that you don't eat enough, you don't eat healthy, you don't
Yes.
eat enough for your body. So I think this is where I can pick something from you.
Yes, absolutely. A balanced diet, I include everything: nuts, seeds, fruits, everything. I don't have a sweet tooth. I'm lucky. My parents have a huge sweet tooth. I'm very lucky. I don't have a sweet tooth. Occasionally, I take a bit of dark chocolate. I'm lucky there. But I think a balanced. You always have to have a balance. Sometimes you want to have a sweet, then cut out your bread and the chapati instead of having two chapati, have one chapati and have a bit of chocolate or balance it out. So I think the middle way is the right balance. Each one has their own balance. So find your balance, what suits you the best.
Yeah.
Because that's sustainable. And if you want to, if you are looking for something which is sustainable, any of these diets, these fad diets, none of these work, honestly. You always need to find a sustainable solution for managing your own weight or health, whatever you might call it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. There are certain myths that you have to fix your smile, you have to fix your jawline and teeth. Have you had been thrown with any of those suggestions before you went for such pageantry competition?
No, I don't think you should be bothered about that. I mean, each one are we are own most beautiful in our own way. We have our unique points. I mean, now that I see you, Jagrati, you coming across as a very calm, relaxed person. Well, that's your strength. Build on it. Each one has their own strength and their own weaknesses. I find everybody beautiful. I don't like to have standards of beauty. And that's why I told you, Priyanka, I find her beautiful. I found her beautiful then. I find her beautiful now. And, she's sort of breaking these stereotypes of beauty. Each person is beautiful. Try to highlight what is beautiful in you. Some find people have a beautiful smile, some have a beautiful heart, some have a beautiful body. Find the best in you and highlight it.
For sure. Um, I'm pretty sure that you also follow something to keep yourself motivated. Is there any book? Is there any particular thing you hold on to keep yourself motivated?
I find motivation in every person. I go through, I mean, obviously, I'm a comms person, so I do look at media a lot. I like to explore types of media which I'm not comfortable with. So when I look at the number of people on Instagram that I follow, young, middle, old, some people have, transformed themselves in terms of health and fitness. I draw inspiration from them. Somebody is managing their career in a way, comeback. Some people are recovering from cancer. I find so much inspiration in everything. For me, every story is an inspiration if you can fight it, if you can live your life, if you come back from a trauma. Some people, I'm a runner. I'm following a page on running where people are not able to run. Somebody who had an accident, a woman in the US, she had an accident. She's a runner, and she had something fixed uh, on her leg, and she couldn't run for 15 months. And now that I see her coming back, that journey I find inspirational. Sometimes I can't run because I'm having a bit of a problem with my knee, and sometimes I feel weak and I feel frustrated. And then it's Sapna. Yours is just a knee. You can fix it. Look at her. She lost her leg. So, for me, I find inspiration in everything. I find inspiration even in animals.
Yes, for sure.
So I have a park here. I have to tell you a story. I have a park here, lots of ducks. And I've been going there I go for my morning run, so I meet these ducks. And I have the small duck who's very old, probably bitten. He's a male duck. I have a name now. His name is Humpty. Called him Humpty because I saw him waddling. He has a broken leg. So when I saw him 5 years ago, he had a broken leg. Probably a sort of a dog had bit him. So then I told him, Humpty, you're not alone. You're not going to give up. So I started feeding him peanuts. And now he's become so big. I go and feed him every day. Humpty, and he comes running. His leg is fixed. And, I draw inspiration from them. So this duck who was probably dying, I was sure he'd die. And this guy has now 5 years strong. He's fighting the other ducks. That Humpty is an inspiration for me, really. And I'm going to go after this to feed him.
It's very nice to know about Humpty, and I'm pretty sure there is motivation everywhere. It's the willingness of yours that you want to go ahead, you want to pick up something, and then you will find and draw
Yeah, yeah,
inspiration.
absolutely.
Yeah. Post your journey, there has been instances that women has reached you out that we want to follow the same, or there has been somebody who went after you, competing for Mrs. India Worldwide.
Yes, there is one. I think last year, this year, there was another person who has competed in. She reached out to me, and we had lunch together, and she was taking tips from me. So I think more and more women should, and probably we should have something here, even locally, because there is nothing for the married women here in Luxembourg. So yeah, anybody who's watching me from the Indian community, or the lovely women here who can go and not this pageantry. It could be anything that they feel, which they think would help them win and feel confident and feel happy and be a role model for their children and husband. Why not do it?
Yes, for sure. There has been, I mean, in back in history when I used to look those pageantry competition, they had like age limit, they had let's say certain height limit, etc. And then it's very nice to know there are competition which you can attempt even after getting married, even after living half of your life. You can pick up when you feel like you said that at an age where you were not thinking of it, but you challenge yourself and then you picked it up and learned something.
Indeed.
So it's very
So this
nice.
pageant is until 55, this one. But I know of many others which have come. There are no age limits. Huh? I mean, you could be 18 competing.
So once you become like Mrs. India Worldwide, Luxembourg, let's say, do you have any specific duties toward the organization? Do you do some kind of charity? Do you interact with the charity, etc.?
This organization, not specifically, they don't have any duties to carry forward. But then, of course, you're always talking to women, inspiring them. Like I said, somebody who came and talked to me last year, and I, sort of uh, said, helped her with the pageant this year. So that kind of thing continues.
Super nice. This is also a way to give back. What you learn, give back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Why keep the experience to yourself? I mean, if you've learned something, share it so that other people can benefit from it, isn't it? It's no point of holding on to things
Mhm.
that you learned and made a mistake, or probably you could do better for. Like, time difference for me was huge. I'm a 7 hour sleeping person. So the whole one, with that 1 year, my sleep, I suffered the sleep because I had the duties to do in the weekend. Then I had my morning run, so I started the day at 4 a.m. and then I had to sit for some of these because they're following Indian time. Sometimes it's following US time. So because there are women competing from all over. There were finalists, I think about 110 finalists out of 50,000 applicants. So we had to follow a time routine to suit everybody. So sometimes we were following European time, sometimes we were following the Europe Indian time. Most of the time we were following Indian time, sometimes we were following the US time. So sleep was a big hit. So how do you manage that better? Which means you need to prioritize. If you have assignments for next week, so we had assignments for every week. I'd do the assignments if I had a holiday because I had a lot of work. I couldn't do that. So I prepared all my assignments and I saved them. So then it was just a matter of popping them every day.
Mhm.
So tips like that, yeah,
Mhm.
which helped me.
After that 1 year and more of the busy period, Do you make more time now for yourself, or is there a new assignment you have picked up and working on that?
I've taken a new challenge this year. I'm joined in my Hesper commune. We're starting off in September. I'm joined salsa and Caribbean dance. I've learned dance. I've learned Bharatnatyam when I was younger, but I couldn't really sort of carry it on because of, in India we had so much studies going on. So now I've enrolled for salsa and Caribbean. We start in September. Once per week salsa and once Caribbean. I've never danced this, but then why not? Yeah, to
Yeah.
challenge myself. I don't know what going to do, but I've taken up the challenge.
I remembered you saying I'm not a dancer kind, and you took up
Yeah,
the challenge to dance.
I love dance. I love one of my very close friends. She's a fabulous salsa dancer. Emily, she's always inspired me. So I said, let me just pick up basics. Let's see how it goes.
Mhm. I see. I feel like that confidence is something which is inherent to you. You seem confident in every aspect of life. Whatever you take on, I seem like you seem like a achiever. You seem like a winner. But not everybody is like that. They have their ups and downs. Some phase of life they're very confident. Some phase of life they lose their confidence. Do you have any key point to share that how somebody can keep them going? I know you said that there's motivation all around, but sometimes the motivation doesn't work. Sometimes it's you who pull yourself together. Is
Yes. No. I think Jagrati, I've had my downs. Right, I've gone through my periods of down, huge periods of down. But I think the lesson I've learned, and almost to a stage where, I said I can't do it anymore. I have to. But I think the lesson is for me, what has worked for me, give your 200%. Whatever you want, whatever, if you're not succeeding in whatever field, give your 200%. If it doesn't work out, your lesson learned is I gave it my 200%. Rest, it didn't work out. It was not meant for me. I have better opportunities my way. I always see it that way. So whenever you're going through a bad phase in life, which I have too, I said, I gave Sapna. Did you give your 100%? Sapna, I look into the mirror. I said, I gave it my 200%. After that, I couldn't have done anything more. So that's end. That's a chapter of my life. Finish. Don't think about it, which is easier said than done. You do think about it, but that's out. Take on something else. Because what more can you do? Because if you keep looking at your past and say, oh, I couldn't do this, and I think you're not never going to get out of your past.
Mhm.
But the only lesson you feel good about, you gave it your 100%. You gave it the best shot. Give it your best shot. If it works out, it was meant for you. If it does not work out, you have other opportunities your way. That's the way I look at it.
Yes. You emphasized that there has been down phases of your life. I know you shared some challenges about your health. What was the biggest challenge for you, if you're comfortable to share?
No, I've been in lots of challenges, for instance, uh, uh, I had a very stable job in India, but then I had to move out. My husband moved out of India in Singapore. And then obviously that was I just got married then. And then so what should I do now? Should I drop my career? I'm a career person. I like to work. I like to earn my own living. I don't like to be dependent on. I've never learned to be dependent on my dad. My mother has always taught me one thing, be dependent. Never in your life be dependent on somebody. You got to own your own bread. It's not about money. It's not about wealth. It's about, the satisfaction of earning your own money, the satisfaction of going and buying yourself a 1 carat diamond is far immense than your husband buying it for you. Not that I don't want my husband to buy that, but he's not listening. But no, they've been huge. That was a period of my life. What should I do? Debate. But then I said, okay, let's take it at a positive manner. I leave my job and let me try for the GMAT. I got through the GMAT and then I went in to do my MBA, which was a very nice phase of my life. So I think constant transfers, movements have been a big challenge of my life. Then I moved on, my husband stayed back. So I think trying to find this balance has been a big challenge in my life. There were, again, phases which were very difficult to manage. I gave them 100%, didn't work out. So I moved on. So again, that's the way and that's the attitude I take in my life. Give it your best shot. If it works out, it was for you. If it doesn't, you've got better things your way.
Yes, yes, definitely. That's the way to think. That's the way to look forward as well.
Yeah.
Mm. I think I touched most of the part I knew. Is there something I don't know and could be nice to know from you about yourself?
Yeah, I think I mean, sometimes I think when if I were to retire or if uh, mm, I would definitely, that there was, I would, I never like to cook, but that's a phase of my life. I would have dreamed to open a fusion restaurant sometime in Luxembourg, a nice sort of Indian, Western, healthy food. No rubbish with a calorie count, so that you can have a nice food. Can have a nice Indian without looking at the calories and go for it. So a nice sort of a fusion, healthy cuisine. That's something. Uh, I love interior decoration. I'm making a new house. I'm building a new house. So that's a passion which will take me next year. I love, if I were not a marketeer, I would have been an interior designer. I love houses. I love to see uh, the beautiful construction, whether I visit Taj Mahal in India or Jaipur forts, or if I visit a beautiful castle in Italy, the structure, I love to bring that into my house. So interior designing is something I'm very passionate about.
Very nice to know. I think I would love to come to your restaurant.
Yes, come
That's
to
the
my
kind
house first.
that's the kind of food I would like to eat every day.
Yes, yes.
And I would also love to learn about interior designing because I like those beautiful houses and I really admire that. But it's a skill. You need to know what should
Yeah,
be
indeed,
there.
indeed,
And then if you
indeed.
put in the right combination, it looks perfect. So
Yes,
I would
and
love
it
to
needn't
learn
be
that.
the most expensive thing. I'm not
Yes.
a thing to bring out the most expensive, but it's just about that right color combination. I like to paint, so I have painted a lot of furniture in bring in old furniture. I like to restore furniture, so I buy in a piece of a sort of an almirah, a small cupboard from an auction, which I'd visit, and then I uh, paint it myself and I embellish it. So I do that's part of my pastime. So that's what I look forward in August now. It's a
Mm.
bit of a lean time at work. So I'm probably going to do that a bit
Very
more
nice.
in the new house.
Very nice. You're giving me a vision itself because I've been thinking of picking up something different, and I think you're giving me ideas. Thank you.
Thanks, Jagrati.
Thank you. So, Sapna, it's been really, really nice to talk to you. I think I learned some
Likewise.
amazing things about you. I learned some amazing things about life. I learned how you keep yourself motivated, and the beautiful story about Humpty. I think I will remember it from
Great.
from this
Just
segment. Yes.
great. Thank you, Jagrati, for organizing this. I think you're doing a great job. You've been doing these a new sort of podcast that you've started besides your work. You're supporting Wicci in this, and you're an inspiration for all of the women in Luxembourg and in India, who are trying to manage this and do something for the community and sharing stories, taking your time out and doing that on a Sunday evening. So
Yeah.
thank you for that and keep up the good
Yes.
work.
I hope it reaches to the person who is looking for it, and I think this is where my job and your job is done. So,
Yes,
thank you.
indeed.
Have a nice Sunday.
Thank you, Jagrati. Looking forward to seeing you in person. Yeah.
Thank you.